Welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
We just broke a shocking story. There is a rift, and I think that is an understatement of a word, a rift between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. Taylor feels like she's been used.
Yeah, used in the middle of Blake Lively's war with Justin Baldoni. And there's certain things that that we know Blake has said about Taylor in reference to that battle that do not sit well with Taylor at all. The big one, dragons.
Yeah. So remember that what Taylor had told Justin was that Blake herself, she said, was Khaleesi, who was the queen in Game of Thrones, and Ryan, her husband, and Taylor were her dragons. Her best friend, although I think best friend is now past tense.
Yeah.
So, so here's the way the stage gets set. You remember there was a big meeting at Blake and Ryan's penthouse in New York City where they were going over a script change with Justin Baldoni. Justin said at the time, remember during all the lawsuits, he said he felt used, that he didn't know he was going to be ambushed with both Ryan there and Taylor Swift there. And we're thinking, oh, well, Blake is saying Taylor was her dragon and she's there, so she got involved and to protect her.
Right.
So we're thinking, wow, Taylor Swift inserted herself in this. That didn't happen according to our sources.
No, what happened was more of a happenstance meeting between Taylor and Justin. And Taylor, well, I say happenstance. Taylor thinks it was done intentionally
by Blake. So what happened was there was a 2-hour meeting with Blake, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds. At the end of the meeting, that was the time Blake told Taylor to come over.
And Taylor had no idea that there was any meeting going on.
No idea at all.
That anybody else was going to be there.
And she believes, we're told, that Blake set her up and wanted her to come in when Justin was still there to show Blake's power.
Right.
And so
which is how Justin received it. He said that in his lawsuit.
Which you would understand.
Right.
So Taylor walks in, had never met Justin before, and just basically looks at him, and the only thing she said, we're told, is, oh, good luck on your movie.
I'm looking forward to seeing It Ends With Us. And she was saying that merely because she understood she was meeting her friend's boss.
Right.
Because Justin is the director of the movie.
And it was that simple. That's all she said, we're told, and then Justin left. So she never inserted herself in this dispute between Blake and Justin over the script, but Blake certainly made it seem that way with the text to Justin. And I think, honestly, that text to Justin is saying, look at the power I have.
Right.
I have Taylor Swift.
And we're told, too, that Taylor, because obviously these text messages became public in the lawsuit that Justin had filed. And when Taylor saw the actual text between Justin and Blake, obviously she saw that Blake referred to her as the dragon. She's Khaleesi. And we're told that Taylor felt that's kind of weird to say about a friend. It's weird to call a friend a dragon. And, Blake tried to say in her text message something like, these two are my dragons. They stand up for me when I can't stand for myself. They're well respected in the industry, and really was playing up, like you said, Harvey, all the power that both her husband and Taylor Swift had. And it seems like that didn't sit well with Taylor.
Oh, no. We know it didn't sit well.
And it got worse since then.
Because then Taylor started to ask questions, we're told, and she's found out that Blake, according to our sources, has been name-dropping Taylor to kind of, flex.
Sort of leveraging Taylor, in specifically, in one instance, telling an actress that she had been cast by Taylor. That, the way it's described to us is that Blake said to this actress, oh, Taylor is the one who wants you in this role, and we're told that Taylor had nothing to do with casting anybody.
So there's just no question that this relationship is now fractured. And remember, Taylor is the godmother to one of Blake and Ryan's kids.
All right.
So this relationship, the two of them were best friends. I mean, we saw them going out to dinner all the time. They were joined at the hip for...
They were at the Super Bowl together last year.
That's right. That's right. Don't expect that this year.
I don't think so.
And,
Though I will say the godmother part means that maybe there's a chance that they can or they will prepare it just for the sake of the kid.
But there's no question
right
based
now,
on the people we're talking with, and let me just say, people we're talking with know.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. And Taylor Swift is unhappy. Again, an understatement that she has been inserted into this. And by the way,
and kind of used.
And not kinda.
Yeah.
You know, based
That's what
on
she feels.
She feels totally used. And you know, I think one of the things that made all of this surface, we did a podcast. We have a new podcast, me and Mark Garagos, called Two Angry Men. And it dropped yesterday, and we interviewed Brian Friedman, Justin's lawyer, and I was grilling him on whether he was going to depose Taylor.
Because the way it had been described, it certainly seemed like Taylor was involved.
That's
in
right.
This. Right.
That's right. And you know, he was kind of cagey about it because she was kind of the ace in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But now it looks like this whole thing was a sham that Blake may have kind of built up.
Yeah.
And I do not see that friendship lasting, frankly.
Hi, I'm Ilva from Latvia. I have to say that I'm really not buying it. Taylor is smart and her team really is also smart. So I think she's kind of just staying behind. She doesn't want to be in this drama, but they are close friends and her music is in the movie. I feel like she really did put her finger into all of this. And I think we might see her in the trial deposed.
I will only say to you, based on
yeah,
I don't think there's gonna be a trial either. But based on our sources, I think you're wrong.
Especially if that really was the nature of, if it was just a passing, hey, I can't wait to see your movie. What is there to depose her about?
There's nothing to depose her about.
Right.
And they may end up doing it just to get that on the record. Because honestly, if it's all true, it makes Blake look really bad that she's pressuring Justin with Taylor Swift and had kind of engineered that. So they might end up calling her just for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on.
Yes, to a big break for Wendy Williams, or at least it could be a big break for her, because Wendy has been insisting she does not suffer from dementia. You've had several conversations with her.
Many conversations.
And she seems like the old Wendy. Well, now, specifically due to public pressure that Wendy has put on the guardianship, she is going to get a new evaluation. And we found this out in a letter that the guardianship has sent to the judge saying that we feel it is time for her to have a new evaluation. Now, this means what they've said is she's going to see a doctor. There will be a medical evaluation. And they specifically said, the Guardian said this, the reason for this is because they heard Wendy doing interviews where she said, I don't have dementia. I should not be in here trapped, as she puts it, in this assisted living facility.
Calling her a prisoner, essentially.
Yeah.
Saying she's a prisoner.
Yeah, they also said they've heard Wendy say that she may not even be interested in suing A&E. A big part of this guardianship is that lawsuit against A&E. And so Sabrina Morrissey, the Guardian, went into court and said, look, I'm pursuing that for the benefit of this estate. If Wendy is saying she doesn't want it, we need to actually evaluate her and see if this is in her own interest in stopping pursuit of this lawsuit, because they think it could be quite lucrative for her estate and for her benefit.
We're going to get into more of this next week. Our documentary, Saving Wendy, drops on Tubi, and you can watch it for free. But I interviewed her, and we had to have a camera on the street looking up because we couldn't get into this facility. Virtually no one can get in. She is essentially trapped in that room, has been for a long, long time, has no internet access. Nobody can even call her. She can only call out. She got fresh air twice in the last month. And I got to tell you, I have spoken to her for hours and hours and hours, many phone calls. This woman is back to being Wendy Williams. And the diagnosis she got, it should be getting worse if it's really accurate. And it's not. She's back to Wendy. So something's up here. And you're going to see it on this documentary.
Hi, my name is Hawa, and I'm from Montreal. I kind of find it quite odd to hear so many conflicting stories about Wendy's health. On one hand, if she doesn't have dementia, I'm glad that they're open to reevaluating her. But at the same time, after watching the 2021 documentary and seeing kind of her erratic behavior here and there, I don't know what to think.
Well,
Hopefully she has
watch the
support system.
documentary, and then you be the judge, okay?
Because
Yeah.
there's an explanation for that erratic behavior you're referring to.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're taking a break.
When we come back, the Super Bowl festivities begin with a big, huge name, Lady Gaga, performing on Bourbon Street. We're going to show you why she was there, who joined her on Bourbon Street, and we're going to be joined by Todd Graves, the CEO of Raising Cane's. He has not one, not two, but 3 luxury suites that will be filled with celebrities. He'll be here to talk to us about that guest list when we come back. Well, the party has officially begun down in New Orleans. I mean, it's always a party in New Orleans, but the Super Bowl party in New Orleans, because last night they had none other than Lady Gaga performing on Bourbon Street, leading up to, of course, the game on Sunday. But last night was a really special moment. Not only Lady Gaga was there performing, and this was a segment that Fox and the NFL, all the hosts of Fox NFL Sunday.
Tom Brady, Michael Strahan.
Terry Bradshaw. They were all, the whole gang was down there doing something special for first responders. Here's a little bit of it. So it looks like, obviously, this was all being filmed. You'll probably see the full thing during the pregame, I'm guessing, on Sunday at some point. So big moment there, and obviously New Orleans has been through a lot with the terrorist attack, and clearly they wanted to honor the first responders. So that definitely needed to be done, and it looks like they did it in a really tasteful way, which was great.
Yeah, it looked moving.
So now the party begins in full, and one of the people who will be at the center of that party is Todd Graves, the founder and CEO of Raising Cane's. He is a Louisiana native, and this is his home turf. Now, Todd, we've seen him at other Super Bowls, but when it's your host city, I feel like there's a lot more pressure and a lot of friends.
He has
famous and otherwise
tons of famous people
calling in favors. So I'm sure his phone has been ringing off the hook. And we're glad he's taking some time to talk to us now. Todd, welcome to TMZ Live. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Like you said, the party's already started here in New Orleans. We're going to host one of the best Super Bowls in history.
So you have a reputation of attracting, in some ways, the biggest celebrity crowd in the whole venue. And my understanding is you have 3 or 4 boxes this time?
3 luxury suites. Most people...
It's like
can get into one.
To have one, it's amazing.
So
who's going to be there?
And who does your guest list?
Yeah.
Well, a guest list comes from me and the friends in the industry. I love to bring great people together from different walks of life and different talents to all have a good time. This Super Bowl, we had to step up our suites because it is in my hometown and everybody wanted to experience New Orleans from a local. And you know how publicists are. They don't want me to put out who the famous people hey,
Todd, we won't tell anybody.
Yeah, who are we going to tell?
Only the whole world will know. But it's usually my usual friends, and then we got some new people coming this year because it's in New Orleans. Some people that have won recent awards on award shows, and people that have different premieres coming out pretty soon. And so we got an exciting crew. You'll see them at the game.
All right. So I know you don't want to give away any of the names, or the publicists don't want you to give away the names. Do people, obviously you have a list of people that you definitely want there that you call, but I'm guessing you get a lot of calls also either from the celebrities themselves or the publicists calling your people. Who does the rejecting? Because you can't fit everybody.
Right.
Right? You leave that to the publicists?
I like the way you put that.
That's a really, really good question. So I make sure we have spots for my good friends, and that they have a spot. And then we do get a lot of requests from different famous people, right? And the problem is we just can't facilitate everybody. So we try, but they understand we only have a certain amount of seats, and that's just the best we can do.
What do you serve? I'm dying. I'm a very
it's all
food-driven
about
guy.
food in New Orleans.
Well, I mean, look at the Super Bowl. We can't ever bring our chicken fingers in because it's not on the NFL menu, but we make sure we feed them before we go in. But like for us, I'll host a dinner tomorrow night at Galatoire's. It's one of our most famous restaurants, and I got the whole place rented out, and we'll have jazz bands there, just have some second lines, just have some great Creole food, just legendary stuff. And during the time they're here, we'll have crawfish boils, we'll have beignets for breakfast, we'll have some jumbo, some gumbo. I mean, all that good stuff by the chefs that I know that are the best in the business.
Oh my God!
Now we're hungry. But you mentioned you're gonna have a second line band going. I heard you're gonna be on the first line as the king of the official parade. What's that gonna be like?
Yeah, so it's the first Super Bowl host committee parade that's ever happened with the Super Bowl. And of course, New Orleans is a place to do that. We love our parades. We like to have all the community come out and all the tourists come out and actually enjoy the parade. And they asked me to be the king of the parade. Every parade has a king. And at first I said, hey, why don't you get somebody more famous? Let's get one of the Mannings. Let's get Shaq. But they wanted to represent business, and Louisiana would be a great place to do business. Look, I was born here, I raised my family here. I've grown my business here, and we are a great place to do business. So I'm representing the business front here.
I know there's like a lot of security, especially after what happened at the beginning of the year. But on top of all of that, Trump is coming, and I would think then the security gets significantly heightened. So is this going to be difficult to traverse once you're inside? When not just
getting into the stadium.
Yeah, getting into the stadium, and even once you're in because of all of it.
Yeah, we're allotting an extra hour and a half to get everybody to the Superdome and getting everybody into the Superdome. That we're doing an extra hour and a half than any other Super Bowl we've ever done. Adding the president, they shut down more roads, a lot more security checkpoints. So we had to add a lot of more time.
Hey, can we talk about Children's Hospital? You're kind of involved in a really, really good thing, the renaming of the hospital down there.
Yeah, it was a really special night last night. The Children's Hospital renamed the hospital the Manning Family Children's Hospital. And what a special night. I'm friends with the Manning family. Archie's been a mentor for me over the years. They do so much in our community here in New Orleans. And what a special night to be a part of such a great event.
Now, talk about the arm wrestling contest, please.
Because I heard you. I mean, there's no shame. You lost to a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's hoping to be a Hall of Famer very shortly in Eli Manning. But you got to pay up.
Yeah, this all started at a dinner at Rayo's in December with Eli and myself. And we had Eric Church and Justin Thomas, the golfer, and Ben Wepper, the developer. And they were talking about wagering on a future golf game. I'm not a good golfer. So they say, well, what are you good at? I said, well, Eli, I'm good at arm wrestling. He said, then I'll arm wrestle you right here in Rayo's. We had a few red wines. And I said, well, what's the wager? He said, if I win, then you're going to donate $1 million to the Children's Hospital of New Orleans. So look, how could I beat Eli then? Some rumor is maybe I let him win. But,
I was going to say, Todd, I'm sure you're a nice enough guy and a very generous one. And you're like, you know what? I'll let him win. It's a win for him. It's a win for the Children's Hospital.
Well, even if
you to throw it.
Even if you didn't let him, you didn't go down without a fight.
Well, if you watch the video carefully, I'm literally ordering a red wine while he's trying to take it down.
He's leaning into it all the way. I mean,
hey, we'll have a great time down there. That sounds
parade,
awesome.
At the game, in the suites. Can't wait to see who shows up.
It's gonna be fun, man. I wish y'all could be down here with us. It's gonna be a legendary Super Bowl.
See, you can't say that, Todd.
No,
we
because
can't get on a plane.
He'd go.
Because I can't get on a plane.
You don't want to say that. Well, if he gets in and one of those other people you're talking about doesn't, you're going to have hell to pay.
Todd, thanks so much, man. We really appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, great talking with you.
Good talking with you. Boy, that sounds fun.
I cannot imagine New Orleans for a Super Bowl. I've always said this, one of my favorite sports experiences, just going to a regular season game, a Saints game in the Superdome, is unmatched experience.
And this will be amazing. Okay, taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom face to face. You're going to hear what Khloe is saying about a very, very awkward meetings. First time they've seen each other in about 9 years. They were not on the same page as far as feelings, and that's why it got awkward. You're going to hear from Khloe when we come back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Lenny Kravitz posted this gym workout video. He's wearing leather tight pants.
He's also wearing boots and a mesh shirt.
Only he can pull this off.
It's TMZ.
Well, the much anticipated meeting between Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom went down on the season premiere of The Kardashians, and it was not the big heartwarming reunion you might have been hoping for. It was awkward, to say the least, and it's very clear they're on different paths as far as healing from their marriage and divorce. So Lamar shows up with a bunch of gifts. They sit down and just watch this conversation. I feel badly for both of them, and it makes me think, why did they do this? I know why they did it.
You know why they did that. Are you
Good
kidding
TV,
me? Oh.
Season premiere.
Of course. Well,
Man.
that's why she did.
Right.
I think he did it for a different reason, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
It's next to you.
Sure. Is it this close? How are we going to talk to each other?
Sorry.
Do you need some water?
Yeah, a little bit. How long has this been?
The last time I've seen you, I don't know, I was leaving for Las Vegas, kicking you out of the Calabasas house.
I took you to a lot, huh?
Yes. I can't say that was the easiest time.
No, not for me either. Yeah, up.
With what?
With you. I love you for trying your hardest with me, man.
Thank you.
And that love, I don't think it'll ever go away. I know it won't.
Can I got to say something.
It's so uncomfortable.
I disagree with you. I feel it's really authentic.
Oh, no, it's one. Actually, I said that to someone, I was like, this is probably the most authentic moment in
the whole
any
show.
of the history of their show.
I did a documentary with Lamar, and I talked to him about Khloe, and he is deeply in love with her and would love to make things work again. And there's a part of it, he referred to her as my wife. That's right.
And she completely blanched at that. And I was like, why would he say that? That means nothing to me. She says that she's gone the other direction. She's completely healed from it, and she's learned how to unlove him.
So much regret. He has so much regret over this.
I bet he does, but sadly for him, as a woman, once you find someone that you are truly all in, so in love with, and it doesn't go right, and it takes you the time that it does to get over that situation, 9 times out of 10, you are never going back. I think a lot of fans love seeing Lamar and Khloe together when they had their show and they got married so quickly, but it seems so pure. So I think fans are okay to know that Khloe took the time to heal and get over Lamar and don't want to see her backtrack and get back with him. As much as it's going to hurt Lamar, that's just how the cookie's going to crumble.
Yeah, it just makes me sad because I remember sitting with him and he was so vulnerable about this and open. And Lamar's really turned his life around. I mean, when you think of him at death's door, you know, at his worst when he was with Khloe, and where he is now with rehab centers and improving his life and doing all those things.
But he was a different guy the moment he walked in that room.
Boy, was he.
And
you could feel it.
Yeah,
I mean, you could really just feel it.
Hey, this is Emiliana from Pennsylvania. You know, I honestly feel for both of them. You could tell that this was a bit of an awkward situation. I know I wouldn't want to rehash things with my ex on television in front of a million people, so I do commend them both for showing each other respect and, you know, doing the best that they can. So, you know, I wish good for both of them.
Oh, my God. I think that was a Sweet Lady Jane cake. I think that was Sweet Lady Jane's.
I don't doubt it. You can always spot a Sweet Lady Jane
I think
cake.
it was the berry.
You guys know how much we have suffered
the
here.
berry
with
cake
every time
from
there's
Sweet Lady
a cake
Jane's.
in our office, this guy, if it's not Sweet Lady Jane, he's going, well, why do we bother getting
I think
cake?
it was Sweet Lady Jane. I'm very positive.
They're not that good.
They're really good. Oh, the coconut cake. We're taking a break.
All right. When we come back, the big moment people are waiting for on Sunday. Yes, they want to know who wins the Super Bowl. But the halftime show, what will Kendrick Lamar do? What will the NFL do? What will Fox do when he plays Not Like Us? Will he say certified pedophile? Drake has already filed one lawsuit. Will another one be coming? Welcome back to TMZ Live. A little news conference down in New Orleans today, and maybe the only time that Drake would want to watch a pre-Super Bowl news conference, because
he wants to find out, is Kendrick going to do the obvious, which he's going to do, right?
I will say this. If Drake wasn't watching it, his lawyers definitely were, because they're watching the Super Bowl very closely. They've said in this defamation lawsuit they filed that they feel like Universal Music Group colluded with the NFL and Rock Nation to get Kendrick on the Super Bowl halftime stage where he could perform Not Like Us and inflict the most pain and injury to Drake's reputation by singing Not Like Us. So
singing a particular verse.
And singing the certified pedophile line. So look, he's definitely going to do the song.
Definitely.
And when he started the news conference, I think he tipped his hand. If anybody had any doubt, he's going to play it.
Please welcome Kendrick Lamar. Well, y'all got to make some more noise than that.
Now, of course, he didn't actually do any of the rap there. You got to wait until Sunday for that. They didn't play the part of the song. They just did instrumental. And I think, let's be honest, this is all for television. This is theater. They don't want to give away whether he's going.
And they didn't give it away.
But I will say this. I've spoken to people connected to the NFL, people connected to Kendrick, and they're expecting he is going to do the song and he is going to do those lines.
Absolutely. He did it at the Grammys.
And he even said during the news conference, well, he didn't perform it in the Grammys.
No, but they played it at the Grammys.
They played it. CBS
so
did.
Risky though? I mean, I don't know. Drake is obviously willing to sue. 130-ish million people are going to watch this game. Is that a problem, really? That Fox
But you know what?
wants?
He didn't. But Mike,
I think it's a PR lawsuit.
He didn't file a lawsuit. When he filed that suit, he did not sue Kendrick. So if you're Kendrick, you say, look, he didn't sue me when I put the song out.
No, you're right. But the question is, will Fox bleep it if he does it?
So the steps here. He's going to do the song.
Right.
He's going to sing the lyrics.
Absolutely.
Now, the decision falls on Fox and the NFL as to whether or not they censor it at all.
Do they have pressure now that CBS went out and did it?
Mm-hmm.
CBS played, not only played it, he slow played himself when he walked up on the stage so that you could hear that verse.
The only difference between the Grammys and the Super Bowl is that 10 times more people are going to be watching the Super Bowl.
Right, at minimum. Look, yesterday, here the way this works for every Super Bowl halftime, by the way, the performer on the Wednesday before the game delivers all of their lyrics to the network and to the league. And then the lawyers all get in a room, they pour over all the lyrics to see if there's anything that. But you're right.
This is where you and I disagree.
No.
I'm
just telling you what they do.
What they normally do.
And that's what they did yesterday. I know that for a fact. I've spoken to people in New Orleans.
But wait a minute.
Hold on. Can I please get it out?
Do it.
So they go over all the lyrics. Now, you are right. They knew about this lyric heading in. What they didn't know is for sure whether he was going to do it. They now know he's going to do it. So now they have to decide, what are they going to do? And I can't tell you what the lawyers have decided yet at this point. But there is some risk. And I know you're acting like there is no risk.
No. I'm not acting like there is no risk. What I disagree with you on is, I know they may have had a meeting yesterday. They made this decision a long time ago.
I will tell you
when
this.
they actually actually invited him.
Okay, they didn't, because it wasn't an issue when they invited him.
Well, after the lawsuit,
when the lawsuit was filed, and I will tell you this: that when the lawsuit was filed, it was not even on their radar. They weren't thinking about it until they read our story about the lawsuit. And then they started hand-wringing about what are we going to do, what are we going to do.
I get it, but at that moment, when he sues Universal, they've got to sit down and say.
You don't think that lawyers take the temperature over what's happened, that what happened at the Grammys doesn't weigh into their decision?
I'll tell you why not. I'll tell you why not. A, he could still sue the Grammy. He could still sue CBS.
Absolutely.
That's number one.
Right.
Number two is that it does, if CBS does it, Fox may say they're just off a cliff now and they're going to get sued and we're lawsuit averse and we're not going to do it.
Right.
I think they've calculated this and they've got a plan. If he says that, if he plays that lyric or sings it, even if he says he won't, if he does, which he could, they're going to hit that button or not.
Right.
I think they've talked about that as soon as the Universal lawsuit is filed.
And they're both, by the way, the NFL has someone with a finger on a button, and then Fox has someone with a finger on the button. So
does one cancel the other out if they push it at the same time?
They can't. There's like a 3-second difference. So there's the 5-second delay. No, I don't think they will cancel each other out.
Hello, my name is Desiree Almaraz Estrada. I'm from Whittier, California, and I believe there might be some censorship when he does perform this song, since a lot of families are watching. But I don't really see it as being an issue because here's the thing. Well, yes, it's a diss track towards Drake. It's clearly so much more than that. He's trying to spread awareness in what's going on in his own community. And in all honesty, he has every right to sing the song if he wants to. I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Here's Drake's argument that, fine, you can sing a song, but you can't drag me in and more than insinuate that he's a pedophile if, just to make money. And you could argue that proves malice because they were in a war, and that's the standard for defamation. So you could make the argument that you can't just put it in a lyric and say, oh, because it's in a lyric, it's not defamation. That's just not the case. So there is an argument Drake has here. There is.
Exactly. So it's going to be interesting to see which way this goes.
Yep. Okay, we're going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, going to the Super Bowl, how much does it actually cost you? This is really shocking, but this might be the most affordable year to go to the Super Bowl. Why prices have plummeted and what you will spend if you get down to New Orleans. Or is it better to stay at home? We're going to follow the money with Dame and John when we come back. Listen, if you don't have any plans for the next few days, hop on a plane and get down to New Orleans. It's never been cheaper.
It's true.
To go to the Super Bowl. I shouldn't say never, but
in current dollars.
In current dollars, the price of a Super Bowl ticket has been plummeting.
Like 58%.
58%. Now, I don't know if that's a function of teams being there that have been there. Like this is the third year in a row for the Chiefs. You would think there are a lot of people want to see the three-peat, but apparently not, because on the secondary market, it has gone down. I think the average ticket is now like $3,000. It's less than $4,000.
And last time it was like $9,000. And like last time it was $9,000.
Right. So maybe, is it worth the go down? I always wonder this. What does it actually cost for the average person if you want to go to the Super Bowl? Or is it better? Some people just prefer the experience on TV. And then, but then you gotta
nachos and you're done.
Yeah, but if you have, certain friends who come over and they just want to eat you out of household, that's
why you go to somebody else's house. Right?
I don't believe that. Okay, we're following the money for the Super Bowl. And where should you put your money? Should you go down to New Orleans? Should you just stay at home? Joining us to follow the money is our buddy Damon John. Damon, listen, I know you've definitely been to the Super Bowl. It can be a very pricey trip, but maybe this year's the year to go.
It's all about your priorities and, of course, what do you have in your budget? If you want to go to the Super Bowl itself, or if you want to have that once-in-a-lifetime experience with a loved one and go down there, this is the time to go. I didn't know it. Harv, did you say 58% cheaper now? The tickets? Most people get to go. They go down to the Super Bowl wherever it's at. It's usually and often it's a very expensive city. They don't even go to the game themselves, and they do a lot of stuff. But you actually can physically go to the game in a city that right now I think a lot of the tickets are also cheaper because people are afraid of that terrorist event. Right. Listen, I'm a New Yorker. Don't ever let terrorists stop you because it is super secure down there. Actually, you can go and enjoy down there. Go to the bayou, but you'll see halftime right in the French Quarter. You don't need to go anyplace else. Halftime is going to be right there in the French Quarter. You can eat for cheap. It's a very secure place that has hosted many, many times. If you're going to go down there and have an experience with a loved one, a child, this is the time to go if you were going to do that.
The other thing you can do, if you wanted to, like you said, Damon, going down to New Orleans just to be around that. And then if you get a cheaper ticket on the day of the game, there you go. And if not, you go watch it in a bar or a hotel or whatever.
So you're saying just go on the fly and hope you get in?
Just go to New Orleans.
Oh,
yeah.
listen, New Orleans is great. Unlike
you can't go wrong being in New Orleans.
It is a third world country. It's a banana republic.
Oh my God.
You're gonna see. This is good. You're gonna see.
You mean that in the best way possible?
In the best way. If you go to a major city, right? New York, LA, Arizona, you're going to see the same stuff. You're going to see McDonald's over here, Starbucks over here, and you're going to go to the Gap. Other than that, you go down to New Orleans, you're going to see so many amazing things. Culture, people. It is such a beautiful place. When I go there, I do feel like I'm somewhat in France, somewhere in the Bahamas. It is just beautiful. You'll have a great time. Absolutely amazing weather. You'll meet great people, eat amazing food, and I think that you will end up seeing somebody throw a football around somewhere. Maybe Kendrick Lamar. I think this is the time to do it if you're going to do it, if you have it within your means.
I've never been to a Super Bowl, but I'm wondering, you have. So if you're really just interested in the game, which is the priciest thing you're going to do down there, if you're really interested in the game, be honest. Is it more exciting to be there and watch it sometime, from more of a distance or on television?
It's always going to be more entertaining in the game to me, or if you're really in the game itself, to be there to watch a TV, even concerts, right? Because you're seeing all the angles, seeing everything, but there's nothing like human interaction, live, people screaming, yelling. I'm not big into sports like that, but Mark Cuban said to me one time, he said, Damon, you may not be into sports, but where will you ever hug an absolute stranger or strangers over one joyful thing? You probably will never even remember the game, but you will hug somebody. And it's an emotion you won't get back. It's just that energy.
Yeah. By the way, the other option is to stay home. And if you prefer it on TV, I read the average price of a Super Bowl party. I don't know how many people they're inviting, but the number is $215.
$215?
That depends on a million things.
That seems like that's only maybe
That's a bottle of champagne for some of them. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I mean, or a bottle of
$250. You serve champagne at your Super Bowl parties? You hear this, Damon? This guy's serving champagne at his Super Bowl party.
Champagne. I'm just saying.
There will be no nachos at his house.
I'm not selling champagne. Who you got?
I have to have Philadelphia because my wife is from Philadelphia. Even though she hates sports, I just don't want to ever disagree.
So now we learned who the alpha is, so we appreciate your time.
Is that what you're just learning? Oh my God! Welcome to the party.
Yeah, David's like, you haven't been paying attention if you just learned that.
And I do want to shout out everybody. Listen, as we're talking about all this, I know you've been reporting on it, my buddy, for the last 40 years, who I've known since 14 years ago. Irv Gotti passed away. I want to say my sincere condolences to him and his family and everybody that loved him. But more importantly, Irv had a health scare and he didn't stay on top of it like I wish he would have. I'm out in Costa Rica getting stem cell. Take care of yourselves. Harv and Charles, you guys look great. I know you take care of yourself. Let's keep telling people that you can't follow money if you don't have your health.
That's absolutely true.
Good message. And sorry for your loss, Damon.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Damon.
All right. God bless you guys.
We'll see you later. Okay, we're going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, big news about Britney Spears and her love life. Guess what? Her ex is not her ex. Still with Paul. And there is a sign that she's really in deep with him. You're going to see what they were doing when we come back. Britney Spears is in stepmom mode.
Well, that's a little overblown.
A little overblown. But the headline here is that she and Paul Solis are still together. And
he was the maintenance dude on her property that became her boyfriend, and then they broke up, and apparently they're back together.
Yeah, and doing so well, they actually went out with a couple of his kids this week.
He has 9.
He has 9 children, but they just went with two of them to an indoor playground, and that's Britney sitting in the passenger seat of a nice G-Wagon, which we're told she actually bought for Paul. And so now, I guess you need a G-Wagon with 9 kids, at
So
the
this,
very least.
so it's this indoor place, and apparently they needed to pay, so Britney came in to pay, and they said, you're doing this for, what, do you have 2 of your kids here? And she's like, very insistent, they are not my kids.
Not my kids. I'll pay, but just so you know, they're not my kids. I will see how this goes. We know this was...
Remember, do you remember the Chateau Marmont? Where it's just
Marmont, and
crazy.
everyone around her had said
crazy.
It was a toxic relationship. That's not a play off her song. And there were people who were happy when it seemed they had broken up.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah. All right.
It is that time of the week, folks.
Your favorite time. Tim is here with his rejects.
What's going on? All right, so... Charles, I know you go bungee jumping, and I know you go
all the time.
skiing, and I know you go skiing all the time, right?
All the time.
Have you done bungee jumping while on skis?
Now, so far, I don't have a death wish.
Check out this guy here. Go off the ramp there, and you're hooked in, just like bungee jumping, but you're in the snow. You got the skis, and you do your thing. You kind of just like...
what's the point of having the skis on?
If you're going back up, what's the point of this? I don't understand.
I think it's to kind of go off the big jump.
Oh,
and get
so
that
like you're doing a jump, but you don't have to stick the landing.
Exactly. So I don't know if you go over jumps like that, Charles, but maybe try this out. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm good. Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
The guy's trying to kill me. I know it.
I know you guys both work out, but have you guys lifted weights while on a unicycle?
Yes. How so funny you say.
Exactly. Well, this guy here, he's balancing on a unicycle. He's got 174 pounds there.
I would just kill me.
And he's balancing pretty good.
I would die. I mean, I would literally just die.
Harvey on that unicycle with weights, I would just say 6 million ways to die.
I would, honest to God, I'm looking at this just seeing, I wouldn't even make it to the hospital. Okay, last one.
All right, so when you're cruising around on roller skates in the roller rink, it can be fun, but you also need a little balance, and if you start to fall, you have to kind of regain your balance. Check out this guy here. He's in the roller rink. He's skating around. He's losing his balance. He's trying to gain it. He's going up and down, and then he finally falls a little bit, but as you can see,
what kind of skating? He wasn't even.
Can I tell you something?
Proper skating.
Can I tell you something really funny?
Yeah.
I've done exactly that.
It's like
I have done exactly that.
Yeah. So.
Now try that on a unicycle.
Oh God. Okay, Tim. Thanks,
Tim.
See ya.
God. Brings me back to the 70s.
Oh, man.
Okay, we're taking a break.
All right, when we come back, Ed Sheeran on tour in India decided to get himself a little relaxation in between shows. This is probably the most unrelaxing massage you will ever see, but it's funny. See when we come back. Ed Sheeran is over in India. Got a little tour going on and decided he would hit up a local masseuse or masseur for a massage. A little relaxation, makes sense. I've never seen a massage like this.
This
though.
ain't relaxing.
Normally, like a head massage is like the most, it's so soothing and relaxing.
Watch this.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
I'm alarmed by this. You could get a concussion and brain bleed from something like this. I'm serious.
But maybe if he's cupping his hands, maybe that's the secret. Because I don't know how he's not getting a concussion.
I was reading about this a while ago.
What?
No, not this. But just generally, if you
never seen that.
Like if you bump your head, it doesn't even have to be hard. You can get a brain bleed. That is alarming to me. Somebody get in touch with Ed Sheeran, please, or his manager. We need to know. We'll let you know tomorrow. We'll see you then.